Hey, Truth Family. I wanted to come to you today with a special introduction, one of our new friends, Melissa Davis, who is with Basking Babies and is going to be one of our most valuable resources, especially for all those new moms out there. So I wanted to take just a second to have her introduce herself and tell her a little bit more about what she does and why she fits that perfect resource that we have. So Melissa, tell us a little bit about who you are and about Basking Babies.
Thank you. Basking Babies is a business that was started by Angela Sweeter, who was a registered nurse and lactation consultant in the hospital setting. And about 12 years ago, she decided that she wanted to be able to serve moms in their homes. So she started this business, Basking Babies. In the meanwhile, I have been working for the last 34 or 5 years as a registered nurse and lactation consultant. And I started in labor and delivery, doing high-risk antepartum, labor and delivery, postpartum, nursery, did reproductive endocrinology nursing, learned the hormone piece, and helped a lot of women achieve pregnancy. So I've done all those areas, and then I went into my favorite area 9 years ago as a lactation consultant. And so for the last 9 years, I was working in the hospital setting, in the hospital group that delivers the most number of babies in central Iowa. So I have
a fun job you have, getting to snuggle babies.
Amazing. It's amazing. Some babies get pretty cranky, so we have to work on that and improve latching. So
none of you have cranky babies, I'm sure.
No, my baby never cried either. That's a lie. No. So, but it's been really rewarding to be able to help moms achieve their breastfeeding goals. And in the hospital setting, that's a difficult setting to learn about breastfeeding because you're a tired mom. You may be confused by different people coming in giving you different advice. And so I found from my own personal experience with a 26-year-old child, so 26 years ago when I learned to breastfeed my child, I was confused and had difficulty. And I was a registered nurse working in these areas. And so I thought, not a lactation consultant yet, but I thought this has to be so challenging for moms who don't have the background that I did.
Right.
And so I really want to advocate for infants because infants would ask if they could speak to us. They'd say, would you please give me breast milk? Because my body knows how to process that. And breast milk is ever changing and protects the child's health in so many ways and helps for normal brain development and normal physiologic development. So, of course, I want to advocate for babies and support their moms and help their moms through breastfeeding challenges so they can continue to feed their children as they choose to.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it too, it can be challenging. You know, those little guys and girls don't come with instruction manuals, right? And it's hard to know.
And that's right.
And we know that the Lord planned on, breast milk to be the best thing for them. That's how he designed it, right? But
that's right.
Sometimes it just doesn't seem like it's going right. So that's why people would consult with a lactation consultant, right?
That's right. And breastfeeding is a learned skill.
Sure.
These are not things that we're born knowing. And so it helps if you can get established with someone that you trust, with experience, someone who can consistently you can go to get advice on what to do. And then most importantly, I feel, is to get a prenatal consultation. And I purchased this business in 2023 this year. So I'm the new owner of Basking Babies, and I'm able to now do visits in the home where moms are the most comfortable.
Absolutely.
I knew as I was doing for the last 9 years as a lactation consultant in the hospital, I was able to serve mothers in so many ways. I did teach prenatal breastfeeding classes for the hospital setting. I did outpatient consultations. I did 2 of the breastfeeding support groups that we had every week. I did 2 of them per week. And of course, I rounded on the brand new inpatient moms who just delivered their babies. So I saw with my own eyes and through my own personal experience as well that it's very difficult to learn new things when you're very tired.
Oh, yes.
And it's a confusing place to be.
Yes.
So since I have been that nurse or at the bedside in those different areas, including as a lactation consultant, I know that it's easy to give advice that may not be appropriate tomorrow, even if it was appropriate today. And so I want to help be the person to interpret what's happening, I want to be your guide as you're in the hospital setting. I call it running the gauntlet. I want to run the gauntlet with you.
Yeah.
And help sort out fact from fiction,
Yes.
or maybe just clarify some advice you may have been given. The people that are in the hospital caring for you care very much about you.
Sure.
But they're going to see different situations every time they come into the room.
Absolutely. Everybody's different. There's not cookie cutter.
That's right.
I can say, I wish I would have known some of these things back when I was nursing 3 babies as well. There's definitely some challenges and stuff that I know now. I could have, made it better if I would have known somebody like you. So, Melissa, with why would somebody want to seek a lactation consultant? What are some things that you help with? What does that process look like?
Certainly. The number one question that mamas have is, how do I know how much milk my baby is getting?
Yeah.
And so at breastfeeding support groups, for example, I can help a mama weigh her baby pre and post feeding, and then I can calculate how much milk the baby took. Now, we do this at our appointments as well when I come to your home. That's a primary thing we want to do so we can determine the intake for the baby. And then based on that and based on the baby's weight and some other factors, then I can help you figure out how many feedings should your baby have, how frequently, and so forth.
Yeah.
And then at our support groups, however, it's not a one-to-one situation, so I'll quickly try to help each mother as she needs my help. And then if I feel as though we really need to work on some certain things, if I have concerns, if she has concerns, then we'll set up a private consultation in her home. And I think that's the big benefit of getting a private lactation consultant is being able to be in your home to do these things, because moms are typically tired and don't want to have to travel, and it can cause a lot of stress if you have to go to an appointment for this sort of thing. So I like being able to come to where you are.
That's great.
Preparation, I think, is really key. And so I'd like to invite pregnant moms to come to breastfeeding support groups. So because many moms have never even observed a mama breastfeed before, and I'd like you to have opportunity to see what that's like. I'd like you to have an opportunity to ask me questions about a little bit about preparation and schedule a consultation with me. So before you have your baby in your arms, we can talk about how to get started, how to use your breast pump. I can do a flange fitting, they say, to make sure that that's working right. And then advise you on how maybe you can manage things in the hospital setting. Now, and then of course, I want to see your baby after the baby's born. We're going to do a weighted feeding at your home. And then we'll all come as many times as are needed until you feel like things are going well. But moms commonly have questions about milk production, comfort of latch. Very, very common to get painful latching going on. Sometimes moms are given little gadgets called nipple shields in the hospital, and many moms would like to get off of that nipple shield and be able to latch without it. It's common to ask about, weight gain. Why is my baby gassy? Why is my baby gulping and choking when he breastfeeds? Why is my baby so sleepy? Why isn't he eating as frequently? Why is he eating so frequently? Why isn't he eating frequently enough?
Oh man, brings back so many horror memories for me, and sleepless nights and all the things. Like, I wish I would have known a lot of these myths. I'm sure you can help debunk. And a lot of things that we're told sometimes, it's from loving, genuine hearts, I'm sure. But a lot of times it is because they haven't had a lot of the training that you have had either. I know you had shared with me, you had spent hours, right?
Oh, yes. In order to become an I have the title Internationally Board Certified Lactation Consultant, as I mentioned before, and that's considered the gold standard of lactation consultant, because we have to have so much education and experience teaching mamas and helping mamas with breastfeeding. So, for example, just to sit for my exam, I had to prove that I had helped moms for 1,000 hours at the
pains over here.
I have a lot of babies.
But man, holding so many, like 1,000 hours of babies. Wonderful.
It's the best life ever. It's the best life ever. It's such a blessing. It's really fun. But there are a lot of subtle things that can be done that will help. There are more solutions than you can possibly imagine to improve the quality of feedings. And moms have so many questions that they may never feel like they can get answered until they can have a moment where things aren't crazy in the room. And in the hospital setting, it's just difficult sometimes to get to the bottom of problems. And sometimes problems don't occur until you go home. Maybe it's difficult. Maybe you're going through a terrible case of engorgement and your milk is coming in and your engorgement is really painful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have symptoms of mastitis. I'm not a physician. I won't prescribe anything for you, but I'll be able to help guide you if you need to get over to your physician.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of experience helping moms and babies, and sometimes I can see things that you would need to go to speak to your physician about too.
Yeah, absolutely. What a wealth of knowledge she is, guys. And like I said, really wish that I would have known of resources like this. And that's one of the things that's really important for us. We can't. The doctors, they have never, the current ones that we have, they've never breastfed a baby, but they know a lot about physiology. And, a lot of us team members here have, most of us have had kids of our own, and we want to just be an amazing resource for all of our patients and, for you to be able to come to us. And we will not pretend to know the answers to everything, but we have really good friends and resources like Melissa, where we can point you in the right direction and get those resources or get that information to you. So Melissa, if somebody wants to get connected with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
It's so easy. My website is called baskingbabies.com, and it's spelled basking-babies.com. And on my website, on the main page of my website, if you scroll down a bit, you're going to see 2 electronic forms to fill out. One is a contact form that you can just fill out with your demographic information and comments about what you would like help with, including I'd like a prenatal consultation set up because I'm going to have my baby in a month and I'd really like to learn about what to do. And then you fill out a second electronic form for insurance. Now, I'm affiliated. When I purchased Basking Babies in January, I got affiliated with a wonderful organization out of Chicago called the Lactation Network. This company is really revolutionary. And what they have done is they figured out how to utilize your health insurance to pay for lactation consultations in your home.
That's huge.
Which is very unique. This was not a service that was offered before until the Lactation Network came along. And it's a baby company. They've really only been together since 2020.
That's awesome.
A baby company.
Yeah. But update.
Oh, we're going on the road.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they have contracts with a lot of the insurance providers, not all of them. But what you can do is see if your health insurance coverage is included with their contracts. And so then if it is, then you have no out-of-pocket fees for me to come to your home and help you with breastfeeding problems. As you get pre-approval for 6 visits.
Wow.
It can save you a tremendous amount of money.
Wow.
So I'm very proud to be able to affiliate with the Lactation Network because they are really changing things for moms in the United States.
Wow.
Also, of course, if your health insurance is not included in the Lactation Network contracts, then of course I have a private pay fee, which the information is on my website, and I'll also include information to you in my correspondence about private pay fees at this time. Sometimes it varies based on how far away you live, or whether you have a single baby or twins.
Sure.
So it can vary just a little bit based on those things too. So,
well, I'm super excited to be able to introduce this resource to you and being partners with Basking Babies. And stay tuned for hopefully some different things that we get to do in the future, just to continue education and just to make sure that you guys are all equipped with everything that you need. Our babies are one of our most important I wouldn't say possessions, but just really gifts that we have. And we want to just make sure that we're, as moms, we always want to make sure that we're giving our kids the best start too. And we know that happy moms, also equate to happy babies and vice versa. And so just making everybody happy and a good experience. So.
Well, and we know too that breastfeeding is normal for breastfeeding to require support. And many of us don't have resources, like maybe our mother may not have breastfed, our sisters may not have, and so we just don't have someone necessarily as a private resource. And I know from being a nurse in different situations that other providers may not have the time or necessarily the expertise to instruct you and prepare you for breastfeeding. And so it is important if your personal goal is to give breast milk to your baby, let me help you. Let me help you get set up for success so you can achieve that goal.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome, Melissa. It's the only name we use around here.
I love it.